Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Alexploring. I am here in Grove City today to check out all of the historical markers here. So today we are starting off in a village area-ish called Urbancrest, tucked in between Columbus and Grove City. So here's our first marker. Let's get started. All right. So we are here at the first marker, and it is number 5325 for Franklin County. It's all about Ellen Walker Craig Jones. In 1972, Urbancrest's Ellen Walker Craig Jones became the first African American woman to be elected mayor by popular vote of a United States municipality. During her term as mayor from 1972 to 75, Craig Jones oversaw the modernization of Urbancrest's various programs, and the village rebuilt 3 main streets, installed streetlights and street signs, and received approval to start a $3 million housing project. Craig Jones had many years of experience in serving her community, serving 12 years on the Urbancrest Village Council. She was the recipient of dozens of awards and honors, including Who's Who among Black Americans. So yeah, that was placed in 2003 here. And if we look over on this side, we have Welcome to the Historical Village of Urbancrest. Gray skies, but that doesn't stop us from learning about Ohio history. Let's get on to our next stop. All right, so we are at our next stop here. This is the of Beulah Park, which was a racing venue in Grove City. It was technically the outskirts of Columbus, just south of the last historical marker in Urbancrest. Lots of horse racing happened here, and now there's apartments, a park, and an Ohio historical marker placed in 2011. This is number 11525, Beulah Park. The origin of Beulah Park racetrack began in 1889 when local businessman A.G. Grant petitioned the village of Grove City to create the Beulah Addition housing development on farmland once owned by town founder William Foster Breck. Grant named the new addition, located west of Harrisburg Pike, in honor of his daughter, Beulah. Grant, whose grandparents Hugh and Catherine Grant were Jackson Township's first settlers in 1803, added a recreational park to the development to attract potential buyers. The beautifully wooded park attracted visitors who enjoyed picnics, concerts, speeches, and baseball games there. Soon, the park was expanded to include a small racetrack on the grounds. And then the backside of this historical marker says the new track grabbed the attention of Franklin County fair officials, who held the fair on the site intermittently until 1918, when it was relocated to Hilliard. Shortly thereafter, Colonel James Westwater purchased the grounds and added improvements. In 1922, Westwater sold its interest to the Capital City Racing Association, and in 1923, the association founded Beulah Park, Ohio's first thoroughbred racetrack. The main entrance of the park was located on Grant Avenue, a street named in honor of Jackson Township's first settlers. In 1931, pari-mutuel wagering commenced under the supervision of the Ohio Racing Commission. And in 1983, Beulah Park was the first track in Ohio to offer simulcast wagering on the Kentucky Derby. So, Beulah Park is an important part of not only Grove City history, but Columbus history, as well as national sports history as well. So that's really cool. And gambling just got legalized here, sports gambling in Ohio. So this Beulah Park kind of helped pave the way for big time sports and racing gambling in the state. So some recent history coming into play with some further long ago history, but they have created this this structured statue here commemorating Beulah Park. It's called "And They're Off." It was a gift to the city of Grove City from the investors of Beulah Park Living. Designed and created by Craig W. Murdoch. So yeah, let's head back to the car, and we'll go off to our next Ohio historical marker. All right, we have arrived at our next stop here at the Battelle Big Darby Metro Park. We're at the Camp Chase Trail parking, and this is where we're going to find our next Ohio historical marker. This is number 4725, placed in 2003, titled Big Darby and Little Darby Creeks, a feature of Ohio's scenic rivers. Recognized for their biodiversity and high-quality aquatic habitat, Big Darby Creek and Little Darby Creek were designated as state and national scenic rivers. These riparian ecosystems provide modern recreational opportunities while allowing a sense of their appearance centuries ago. Nearby Indian mounds indicate that the Darby Creeks have been important food and transportation resources for thousands of years. More than 100 species of fish and 40 species of freshwater mollusks have been recorded within these watersheds. Several, including the indigenous Scioto mad tom, are locally and federally endangered. So let's take a quick peek at the river here. I have personally never seen the Big Darby Creek, but they have a caution that it's higher water than usual, dangerous conditions because of recent rain and flooding. So we're just going to take a peek. This is where you go if you wanted to take your canoe or kayak. We're under this bridge, ride the creek around. Got some bridges. It's probably really awesome in the summer, but you can see where the two creeks meet under this bridge. It's a little darker towards the top of the screen, the water here. Yeah, very cool nature area here in Grove City. This is right on the outskirts, basically in the village of Georgesville. But this is right on the outskirts of Grove City as well. And we'll have to definitely come and check this park out during the summertime. Let's head on back to the car. Let's head on to our next stop. All right, we have made it to our next stop. This is Hickory Hills Golf Club. The Ohio Historical Marker is just on the other side of the clubhouse, but I'm going to make sure I am being quiet and respectful of people playing here. So let's go find that marker. All right, so we are here at the next Ohio Historical Marker, commemorating Jack Kidwell, the course designer. He lived from 1918 to 2001. Jack Kidwell's professional skills, personal philosophy, playing ability, and numerous achievements spanned 60 years and quietly touched countless lives in and around golf. He designed and renovated over 100 golf courses in the state of Ohio during a prolific 40-year architectural career. He was once described as the Johnny Appleseed of golf. His courses flow with the land, were built for the average golfer, and could be enjoyed at an affordable price. His design company, Kidwell and Herdson, gave rise to many successful architects, and evolving into Herdson Fry Golf Course Design, now designing and building courses nationally and internationally. By making golf available to multitudes of golfers, Jack Kidwell helped make golf in Ohio a big business. Hickory Hills is an example of his remarkable design philosophy. This was placed in 2003 and is number 6425. And there's his picture right there. Let's head on back to the car and we'll move on to our next stop. All right, so we are on the southern part of Grove City on Orders Road, and we have arrived at the Orders Road School, Ohio Historical Marker here at Century Village Historical Park from the Southwestern Franklin County Historical Society. But here is the Ohio Historical Marker, number 3725, placed here in 2001. The Orders family, the family that farmed this land in the 1800s, typified 19th century Ohio settlement and immigration patterns. After serving with General Anthony Wayne at Fort Greenville in the mid-1790s, English immigrant Jonas Orders came to Central Ohio from Virginia in 1805. Neighbor Sarah Ford nursed him through a frontier illness. They married and established a farm here in 1829. Of their 10 children, one son, Alan, and his wife, Mary Gallion Orders, farmed here through the mid-1800s, raised 7 children, and provided land for the school. Their son, Jonas Orders II, served in the 113th Ohio Regiment during the Civil War and was wounded at Chickamauga. He married Sarah Nagy and lived here with their 8 children. By the turn of the 20th century, the family had left the farm. So let's see if the other side has more information about the Orders Road School. Educational standards for rural children did not exist during the early 1800s, but by the 1870s, most states had enacted compulsory education laws. In rural areas, township school districts built schools like this one and assessed local citizens for upkeep and teachers' salaries. Teachers passed a county examination for certification. Besides instruction duties, they kept records, cleaned the schoolhouse, and kept it heated during the cold months. In 1879, Allen and Mary Orders deeded 1 acre of land to the Jackson Township Board of Education to build schoolhouse number 10, known locally as Orders Road School. 3 generations of Jackson Township students between ages 5 and 16 received their primary education here. Following consolidation, the school district deeded this building to the farm owners in 1928. It was restored from 2000 to 2002. So this is historical marker 3725, placed in 2001, commemorating the Orders Road Schoolhouse here. Brick schoolhouse. Obviously they have somewhat new types of doors and windows. It's restored, but you can see in here, I'm not sure if you can, glare from the window, but it's all set up as they would in the 1800s. Out back here, we have the school's outhouse. There's a placard on here designating this the Baumgartner outhouse. This is an example of an outside toilet used before more hygienic methods of wastewater disposal, such as sanitary sewers, were available. This outhouse, donated by the Baumgartner family, was moved to Century Village from Big Run South Road. So it was on Baumgartner Farm on Big Run South Road. It was brought here in 2008 on this slab. So very, very interesting piece of history regarding, pioneer life. Obviously, they have this village to go along with it. So I walked by some of these. I know back there they have like a YMCA or a YWCA playground. This is a big park area. So there's feel free to walk around here. But they have these log homes, these 19th century homes here. There's a placard on this one. Let's take a look. This is the Haynes Black House. This house was built on a parcel originally part of an 1808 land grant of 3,900 acres to John Smith Sneed in payment for his Revolutionary War service. Many transfers and divisions of the land occurred prior to 1850. the era when this house was constructed by the Haynes family. In 1935, the Black family purchased the 203-acre farm and the house, which they occupied until the 1990s. It was donated by David and Donald Black to the Southwest Franklin County Historical Society and the city of Grove City. So, it was originally on Borer Road, south of Zuber Road. It's constructed before 1850. It was transferred in 2008, and it was reconstructed here from 2009 to 2012. So I think the transferring of these buildings is going to be a common theme here. All right, so here's this next log house here. This one's the Keg Kaintz log house. This log home was built on property purchased between 1816 and 1880 by William Keg, a prosperous landowner in Franklin and Pickaway counties. In 1915, the land and house were purchased from the Kegs by the Ruoffs. In 1960, the land was sold to the Kaintz family, who donated the house to Southwest Franklin County Historical Society and the city of Grove City in 1997. The house was dismantled with the help of inmates from the Orient Correctional Institution and placed in storage for 6 years and rebuilt in a joint effort of the Southwest Franklin County Historical Society and the Boy Scouts and the city of Grove City. So this is around the time of the Civil War and the Reconstruction era, and it was reconstructed here 20 years ago. Looks like they will be having an open house on Saturday, May 20th, later in the spring. So we might have to check that out. Might have to come check out Century Village at that point. There's some other barns, and yeah, let's check this out. Wasn't planning on seeing all this, but while we're here, we might as well. All right, so this here is the Jones Log Barn. This log barn was constructed around 1850 and was donated by Patty L. Jones. It was dismantled in 2005 with the help from inmates of the Pickaway Correctional Institution. It was reconstructed by Southwest Franklin County Historical Society volunteers in conjunction with the city of Grove City. So this was reconstructed in 2006. It was originally built in the 1850s as a barn here in Grove City area. See, there's a windmill of sorts there. Gosh, there's a lot here to see. There's it's like a campfire area, and there's also some old historical water spouts. Here we have a granary, the Funk Ziegenspeck Granary. Granaries were used to dry seeds for the family to use to sow crops the next growing season. This small granary was built on the Ziegenspeck farm located on Harrisburg Pike, just south of State Route 665, around 1927. So this one is about 70 to 80 years younger than the other buildings here. So it was put together. This was donated in 2003 after the farm was purchased, and then they donated it to the Historical Society here in Southwest Franklin County and the city of Grove City in 2014. So it's been here for about 10 years now. There's some old equipment here. You can see, looks like there's like there's a lot of playground areas here, but it looks like there's also like a splash pad over there. All right, well, this is the Borer Roach windmill. Windmills harnessed wind power to pump water from wells, freeing farmers to use time and labor on other tasks. This windmill is reconstructed with parts from two separate windmills, one from the Borer farm, which was donated by MI Homes, and another from a Demorest Road farm, which was donated by BJ and Jody Roach. And this was put here, transferred here, rebuilt in 2008. The original construction of these was before or after 1870. You can see it's connected here to a water well. Pretty interesting. No placard on that one, at least on this side. Let's check back and look at this one because I believe I saw one here. So this one here is the Augustine Spillman blacksmith shop. This blacksmith shop was constructed using original logs from a two-story log home built on Beatty Road in the 1850s. The materials were donated by Roger and Jean Spillman. Tools in the shop were used in Augie's blacksmith shop, owned and operated by Earl F. Augustine on Orders Road from 1952 to 1997. They were donated by the family. So while this was not an actually used blacksmith shop, materials on the inside of it and the logs built were of period. So at least, you know, it keeps to that. But interesting structure here. All right, and the last structure, historical structure over here is an old train depot. And this would come back into the 20th century, probably why they placed it far away from the other ones. But this is a railroad depot for Grove City. If you were traveling from Cincinnati or Chillicothe, Circleville area, you may have gone past this train depot. I love the text on, or the font of the Grove City there. It's very timely, but yeah, passengers would wait for the interurban to come through and go to downtown Columbus. You might have walked up the stairs like this leading up to this building and bought a ticket somewhere, waited for your train here, and bought your ticket here as well, potentially. You can see the waiting room is set up. Lone pen sitting there. I wonder how long that pen has been sitting on that bench in that exact position. Yeah, I love the yellow. I wonder if that was the original color. Hard to tell, but there's the entrance. Got some nice looking lamps there. And in the window, they have a small replica of this train station. So this would be where you would get on your train. We'll have to see if this is the exact location of where it was or if it was relocated. So I just looked it up. This train depot was actually located in downtown Grove City, and it was relocated to this spot in 2018. So it was sitting in the middle of Grove City up until 5 years ago, and then they moved it here with the other historical buildings. So the more you know. All right, so that's all here at the Century Village here, put on here by the Southwest Franklin County Historical Society. Let's head back to our car, go through this village real quick again, and we'll head to our last stop for um, all the historical markers here in the Grove City area. So let's get back. It's getting cold.